You also want to see just the fervency of evangelism really growing, as a convention. And so, you've written a lot about, just personal evangelism, talked a lot about personal evangelism. How do you see that? What does that look like at the Summit Church?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with our staff. I feel like that's one of the things we talk about is the easiest thing for us is become professional Christians. You don't actually bring other people to faith in Christ. Yeah. And so, celebrating stories of where our staff bring people to Christ. I try to tell these stories as often as I can. One of the most rewarding things in my life was last year leading this evangelistic Bible study in my neighborhood, in which we saw 3 of our neighbors get baptized through it. It was awesome. This summer I've asked the church has given me an extended kind of period of time to go live with one of our church planting families overseas. Right. Just I'm not going to be preaching. Nobody knows who I am there. I'm just going to be living in a neighborhood, sharing Christ with people. And so I feel like if that drive for personal evangelism dies, then what good is church planting? All you're doing is sending out people to gather bored Christians from other churches. It's the heart. The core of the Great Commission is to go and make disciples. Yeah. And without that, we don't have anything.
Yeah. Well, JD, do you feel like the SBC has lost its evangelistic edge?
I don't see how you can say it hadn't. There's some really exciting developments. Church planting is at an all-time high, and that's great, and that's one of the best ways to reach people. But for some, it almost is like some of these things have replaced just that focus on disciple making, which is the core of the Great Commission. I grew up in a church where when you got saved, you went soul winning like the next day. Literally, I got saved on a Monday. I went soul winning on a Wednesday. And it was, it was just, those are old terms, but that's what we're doing. Soul winning. We're sharing Christ with people, and there's nothing that can replace that one-on-one where you just ask the question, whether it's to the person next to you in the airplane or whether it's to the neighbor that you've known for a year or so. I think that we've lost some of that edge, and I think it's something that we have to regain, and that's really an area where I see especially smaller churches being able to lead out in that, because they're the ones that I guess for necessity's sake they can't have the big programs and the sort of thing, and you got to rely on people just sharing faith. So whether you're with a church of 5,000 or a church of 50, the Great Commission is going to go forward when individual members are raised up in the power of the Spirit to carry the gospel to their neighbors. I don't care who you are or how good you are as a preacher. People that are truly outside of Christ are not interested in your speaking skills. It's that relationship that wins the ability for you to invite them into faith in Christ. And so, we need that. That's something we need to get back.
Yeah.